Hello, hello, my friends. Good evening. Nice to have you guys here on a Friday night. Today's going to be very exciting. I have prepared a show for you featuring Trooper Proctor, his body language, and all the mannerisms that I observed. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys observed as well. Now, today was a crazy day in court, but that's just another Karen Reed day, right? Because this trial is the trial that keeps on giving. There's always something. But today we had the cameras go down, we had jurors interviewed, we had some jurors off the jury. And oh my God, at the end of the day, I've given the prosecutor a nickname. He is now Slimy Lolly. I can't take Slimy Lolly testifying on behalf of the witnesses, adding comments to the witness's testimony, and then just adding some new stuff without telling anybody about it. No discovery, no nothing. Slimy Lolly, you're on my watch, okay? But I want to say hello to everybody. Hi, Karina. Hi, Otto. And hi, Michael. We're going to start with this slide that I have created for all of you guys. We're going to check Proctor and how everything started. It's going to be a long one. Hopefully, everybody can stay, but it's going to be a long one because I had to go through the whole testimony, okay? So here's my first impression of Proctor. Proctor came in testifying on direct examination, trying to put a front of remorseful, ashamed, especially when he was going through the text messages, right? Because Lolly had to confront him about those. And at first, I'm listening the first time and I'm like, okay, maybe he did regret writing all those things, right? But as I am here now, as I present this to you, this is no longer my opinion because I could see a lot of things from Trooper Proctor as I continued preparing this. So to me, it seems like he has a script. He has a script to talk about specific topics of the tail light, this, the car, the relationship with the Alberts. And when he is talking about certain things, he's going to display certain mannerisms, right? And it's important to remember body language is not a science. We're just here observing and we see what the person is normally when they're not under pressure. And then we look for clusters, the different things they do when they are under pressure. So at first, and I don't know if anybody remembers this show, as I was observing this person on the witness stand and other troopers as well, this is the show that came into my mind. I was like, these guys, they look like the observers from Fringe. And Fringe was a great show about time travel. So it has everything to do with this case because remember, in this case, in the Sally Port video, there's like people coming in from the future and from the past. There's ghosts, there's all kinds of things. I don't know if you guys know this show, but it's a great show to watch. So let's see here. Some of the things we're going to look for in the body language that Proctor displays. I'm actually going to show the first video and then go back to the list because I don't want to confuse everybody. But here on this little small clip, it's like a 30-second clip. We're going to see when they talk about Jennifer McCabe was the one who called 911 and found Mr. Keefe that morning. He's going to show a little bit of contempt. And he does show contempt other times as well. Contempt is when one side of the mouth goes up, right? And he does it very well. I have captured here the still shot. And he's going to have the lips pursing, which is like a sign of stress. Anxiety doesn't really mean anything. You just just anxious or stressed. And he's also going to have like a constant eyebrow raise and furrowed forehead. And that's because he's going through those text messages. And from my humble opinion, looks like he's just like shocked that he is in that position. It doesn't look like he's shocked about the information. But let's watch this little clip and watch for the contempt on the side of the lips.
Jennifer McCabe was out early in the night at a waterfall bar in Canton with some individuals, and that she was the one who called 911 when they found Mr. O'Keefe in the snow that morning.
Now, with regard to the parties that you just mentioned, prior to
waterfall bar in Canton with some individuals, and that she was the one who called 911 when they found Mr. O'Keefe in the snow that morning.
Now, with regard to the parties that you just mentioned.
All right, so that was a small clip just to see the contempt on his face. Now, I was going through this book, what everybody's saying, and I thought this was very interesting for us to go over the deception. This guy, Joe Navarro, he's one of the most famous FBI investigators, and he wrote several books about body language, and he is like a master of deception. But he tells us, he warns us that deception is very difficult to spot because everybody has different displays and mannerisms. We look for clusters, things that people show when they are uncomfortable. But here's some of the things that I thought very interesting. He says, obviously, displays of comfort are more common in people speaking the truth. There's no stress to conceal and no guilty knowledge to make them uncomfortable. So, number one, we're going to look for comfort versus discomfort, okay? And then he says, those who are lying or are guilty and must carry the knowledge of their lies or crimes with them find it difficult to achieve comfort, and their tension and distress may be readily observed. Attempting to disguise their guilt or deception places a very distressing cognitive load on them as they struggle to fabricate answers to what would otherwise be simple questions. So here is interesting because the book is talking about cognitive load, right? Your body saying something, your mouth saying something, your brain is like, I don't understand, this doesn't make sense because it's two pieces of information that contradict each other. That's cognitive dissonance, right? So the face does things, the body displays things, and I see a lot of that in Trooper Proctor. We're gonna see some videos where I have like a face glitch, because his face is almost like as if he's not human and is making like a glitch of some sorts. So with that being said, we have this one last slide before we go to our first clip compilation that's gonna be very enjoyable to watch. So on this first clip, we're gonna see him doing some of the classics, the tongue jut, the disappearing lips. When he hears the name Karen Reed, he's gonna do this thing on the bottom, like with the, oh no, when he hears her name, he does a tongue jut, and then right after that, he does the disappearing lips, or also called lip compression. These are, okay, so the lip compression is only manifesting from stress, anxiety, something's wrong, like my body is reacting negatively to this question or whatever. The tongue jut, in his case, I think is very prominent because this supposedly is the body saying, I got caught, or I got caught in a mistake, or I got caught doing something I shouldn't have done. And he does that as certain specific things, and the video clips are going to show that. So let's watch the first clip here. And let me see. Karina is awake so late, so everybody say hi to her and everybody else. Okay.
I've never met any of them.
Here we go.
And at some point subsequent, did you have occasion to?
Julie and Chris Albert, I believe, were in the same room as us.
Now, with respect to...
they informed us that Miss Reed was released.
I'll allow it, just as to where you went.
That Miss Reed was released several hours prior to our arrival.
And you mentioned there was a second reason, and that was to view Mr.
Only one piece of footwear revealed the potential of a vehicle strike.
Now, in addition to, Sergeant Mechanic is one of your supervisors within the detective unit, is that correct?
Yes.
What, if anything, with regard to that, did you communicate to Lieutenant Tully?
Objection.
As to how it goes to the investigation,
Yes.
I'll allow it.
Sergeant Mechanic and I. Sergeant Mechanic and I.
And with respect to Detective Lieutenant Tully, Are you aware that subsequently in the afternoon that there was a search that was conducted in the area of 34 Fairview Road where Mr. O'Keefe was found?
Yes.
And are you aware of what, if anything, was recovered in the area where Mr. O'Keefe was found on that day?
I'll allow it as to the investigation.
That's the
Now, from these items of clothing, I'm sorry, let me just
look at his face. It's so weird how uncomfortable he gets.
Trooper, in
Instead of me
addition
with the
to
face
the
glitch.
shoe that you've already referenced, what, if anything else, did you observe about what kind of clothing?
We take an item for evidence. We'll put it in a brown paper bag, document it, time, date, who secured that item, address, where it's discovered, and then we'll bring that back to our office, to the evidence processing area. From there, it'll go to a permanent evidence room.
Did either yourself or Sergeant Buchanan have any access to that evidence storage?
No.
Now, with reference to these items that were seized, and Buchanan have any access to that evidence storage?
No.
Now, with reference to these items that were seized and say items that were seized,
No.
to these items that were seized and say items that were, did either yourself or Sergeant Buchanan have any access to that evidence storage?
No.
Now, with reference to these items,
The snow is about up to our waist.
as you're walking
Waist.
up the driveway towards the home, you see Miss Reed's vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Karen Reed, is that correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
So I'm showing you documents.
Okay. So that was the first clip. And let's see here some of your chats. I have Sassy Pants. She says, I found him to lack confidence in his testimony on direct, even. His shoulders are slumped, and a few times he rolled his eyes. Yes, I feel like he has this state of annoyance, right? He's like annoyed to be in that situation. At the end of the day, I was like, I don't think this guy has ever been in a position where he was held accountable for anything, because he's just like, exactly, his shoulders are down, even during direct. This whole first clip here was during direct, and his face is glitching. He shows a lot of weird face expressions in the beginning, even in the direct, which is supposed to be where you are most relaxed, most comfortable. But he's just like, first of all, we're thinking this guy's not even going to show up. He's going to plead the fifth, because we've heard about the things he did and said. But no, he shows up with impunity. There's certain times that he's definitely lying, because we know he said something else before while testifying. And he just is monotone. He continues to say the same things. And even when he's caught in the worst things, he shows no emotion, no empathy, no remorse. He just looks at the jury and goes like, those were very regrettable comments and very unprofessional. It's like a script. So anyways, Karina, he got lower and lower as the day went on, showing no confidence at all. Yeah, I mean, somebody in the chat was like, in the chat that I was watching, saying that maybe he was under the influence of something, like to calm him down. I don't know, but it did his physical like appearance and his shoulders and his whole demeanor is very odd. So let's see here. Now we're going to go to a part 2 of the direct. How do I do this? Okay, here you go. We're going to do part 2. But then before that, we're just going to take a look at this body language things we're going to also notice as it comes up. Eye blocking and eye delay. One thing he does, it's like, I don't know if he thinks that if he just keeps his eyes closed and doesn't open, that Alan Jackson or Lolly are going to disappear, or he's going to like transform to another dimension, because he just goes like sometimes, and it's weird. Okay, so eye blocking or eye delay, I think with him is more like an eye delay in opening of the eyelids upon hearing information or lengthy closure is indicative of negative emotions and displeasure. And I believe that in his case, and we'll get to that later, he just has the displeasure for being there because he doesn't like to be questioned. He doesn't like to be held accountable. So when we do not like something we hear, whether it's a question or an answer, we often close our eyes as if to block out what was just heard. Some people call it see no evil, or when we touch our ears, hear no evil. The various forms of eye blocking mechanisms are analogous to folding our hands tightly across our chest or turning away from those with whom we disagree. These blocking displays are performed subconsciously and occur often, especially during a formal interview, and are usually related to a specific topic. Eyelid flutter is also observed at times when a particular subject causes distress. And this is what we always talk about here, is to look at the cluster, look at what's happening in the facial expressions, but then ask ourselves, what was the question? What was the trigger? What were they talking about that makes his face go like do all these things? So then let's notice on this next little
Rear
clip
tail light had
for the eye delay.
large pieces missing from it.
So you proceed inside the home, and where is it that you're directed, and where is the defendant?
We told her we're seizing the phone and we'd be writing a search warrant for that.
Through your training experience, when a cell phone is seized from a person, what, if anything, is it that you do with regard to that cell phone to preserve the information on?
Well, first thing we do is we put it in airplane mode. Arrived in Canton at the police department at approximately 5:31 p.m.
And with reference to the Canton Police Department Sally Port Garage, why was the vehicle taken there?
Yeah. Sergeant Buchanan and I didn't have access to the permanent evidence locker area.
Upon your further inquiry of Ring, were you ever able to obtain any video? Now, with reference to these experiences or relationships or lack thereof that you had, now with regard to the investigation that you were conducting and the interviews that you conducted, what, if any, impact did those relationships have with regard to your interviews of them specifically or the investigation in total?
Zero. That is one of my nicknames I've had since maybe high school.
So a nickname that would be familiar amongst these group of friends in particular?
Yes.
Where are you and what are you doing in reference around that time period? What did you understand that to mean?
Maybe approach.
Sure.
Maybe approach.
Sure.
This guy.
I'm
What
sure
does
the
this guy
owner of the
want?
house will receive some shit.
And you respond at 10:56 as well as 10:57, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is it that you respond?
My first response was nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop too.
So I understand. So, Mr. Lally, why don't you go point for your witness?
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Quick pause here. Quick pause here. So let me see what you guys are saying here. Karina said, if I can't see you, you can't see me. Right. When he does the eye closing, it's like, do I have to be here? Sassy Pants. Yes, he seemed like a toddler who plays peekaboo, thinking that if they cover their eyes without hiding, they can no longer be seen. Correct. Or like the ones that wear sunglasses, like in that movie. You just put the sunglasses on and you're no longer here. You close your eyes and you're not here anymore. But his demeanor, and look at what we're talking about. Like if it was anybody else getting caught texting something like this, oh no, don't worry, the owner is not going to catch any problems because he's a Boston cop too. He just continues. Like, I would be so embarrassed, if I ever was in that position. I would be like diminishing in my seat, but he's just like the same tone. He's like, yeah, well, that's what I said. And the other thing that I really don't like in this clip is when he said, we informed her we were taking her car and cell phone. So he had no warrant at that point. He just informed Karen Reed that he was going to be doing that. And what was his evidence really, right? His only evidence was the accounts that Jennifer McCabe gave him. And he just proceeded and without questioning anybody else. And that's the whole problem with his investigation. Do I know what happened? No, I don't know what happened. But this guy made it so much worse for the prosecution because every single thing he did, he was careless. He is dismissive of any other potential scenario. And as soon as they gave him that, in 16 hours, like Alan Jackson said, in 17 hours, he decided what the case was. He just started texting his friends and his sister about the case, and that's all, and proceeded as that was enough, right? I don't know if he did any of the other corrupt things that he's being accused of, but his demeanor has so many red flags for me. Lisa Lee, hi Lisa. She says Auntie Bev acts like she has something better to do. She's so annoying the whole time. I will tell you, I think she did get better with the defense when Proctor was testifying. She did allow a lot of stuff in. She was like, Lolly, you're on your own here. Let the fire happen. I don't care. Let it burn. I don't know what the deal is, but one thing that I noticed today, which I have noticed before, and it really bothers me. I mean, if you haven't watched it, we did a video on the judge the other day and the attorney, so please go watch that. But one thing that bothered me is that she calls Alan Jackson out all the time in front of the jury. Like, oh, I didn't think you're going to say that. That's not what we discussed in sidebar. Oh, Mr. Jackson, you know better. Mr. Jackson, no more of your hyperbole or comments. And then Slimy Lolly slimely introduces things that were not disclosed before, caused the defense today laughable. I'm like, sir, we may think somebody else is laughable, okay? So it's just, she did admonish him today about that comment, but it wasn't in the presence of the jury. I have not seen her admonish Lolly one time in the presence of the jury. He goes on and on and on like he does. And she goes on and on and on like she does. And he never catches anything from the judge, which is annoying. So anyways, let's go back to this video compilation here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see what you have for a second, please?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So sorry to interrupt. This is when Lolly's trying to ask him a question about the paper he has. Lolly doesn't know how to ask the question. He doesn't know how. So the judge is like, it's there. Let me see the paper. She's like, it's there, Lolly. Just have to point him and ask him the question so that he can answer. And he's unable to. He can't do it.
Mr. Lally, it's on there. Why don't you go show your witness? Why don't you just read it, Mr. Lally, and tell us who you attribute it to?
Who cares? You don't know how to do it. Just read it.
Question is that chick a smoke? Again, 4146 question mark. I respond EH. I respond again, nutbag, as Chief would say.
Wow. Now hold on. Who thinks the chief he's talking about here is Chief Berkowitz? Because that's what happened. That's what crossed my mind. And he was like, "Oh, Chief is just a friend of mine. Like that's just something, a nickname my friend has."
Respond with, she's got a leaky balloon knot, leaks poo.
An idiot.
And what, if anything, is that in reference to?
Again,
What if anything?
to Ms. Reed's some medical conditions there. Again, unprofessional.
Let's watch Proctor. Be remorseful to the jury.
Comments I should not have made that I'm not proud of.
I don't know, sir. I
What
need a
if any
little bit
impact did that have
more.
as far as your
A little bit more remorse,
regarding
please.
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation. They said these are unprofessional comments, but they absolutely do not detract from the integrity of the investigation or the facts and evidence of it.
Your Honor, may I approach this retrieve?
Yes.
What are you referring to in that text, sir?
I'm referring to the arrest after Ms. Reed was indicted by the grand jury.
And again, as far as the terminology that you use in that text message to your wife, why is it?
Again, unprofessional messages I should not have sent. I don't have an explanation other than they're regrettable and something I'm not proud of, the language I used.
May I approach the retriever?
Yes.
Second, text communications among your friend group. With reference to that particular time frame and the language that you used, what sort of information had you gathered to that point, and why would you say or use that particular language in your, particularly in your descriptions of the defendant?
This was, 16, 18 hours later,
Sorry.
and I conducted multiple interviews.
Speak up.
Conducted multiple interviews. We knew Mr. O'Keefe never went into Fairview Road. We knew there was one shoe at the scene, one shoe at the hospital. Based off Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, Miss Reed's statements when Sergeant Buchanan and I interviewed her, her broken taillight, the missing taillight, some taillight pieces found at the scene led me to make those comments. Whether, like I said, they weren't professional comments, but based on the day's investigation, it was clear that Miss Reed had struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Sir, if I could turn your attention to the documents before you, do you recognize those?
Let's do a pause here to go over some of your comments too. But it's like, to me, it sounds like a script now, because I have heard it over and over and over. The first day, the second day, he just says the same thing about the comments, and he says the same thing about the event. Now, he's like, it's obvious that she hit him with her car. Really? Because we are like on week 500 of the trial, and today the supposed witness that was going to do the accident, what do you call it, guys? Help me. I forget, but you guys are gonna help me, please. The accident reconstruction, right? He's just like not making any sense either. So I don't know how you're so sure 17 hours in that this is what happened. But I saw Lisa Lee talking about the judge. Should she be pointing it out? Right. I think you're talking about the judge when she was pointing out to Lolly, like, it's there, Lolly, you got it. And she does that a lot. She helps him out. She helps him out a lot, guys. She will be sometimes like rephrasing the questions, and also saying, when he starts to lead, and he pissed me off today, really, because he was just testifying, and I'm done with him. Like, at first I was like, I'm annoyed. This is an annoying guy. He's just so slow. He's not my type of pace. He doesn't have my type of personality, but it is what it is. Fine. But today I'm done. I'm done with him testifying on behalf of the witnesses. And I'm done when he finalized his recross with Proctor, and he went after the attorneys personally. He said, let's talk about Yannetti. What kind of person does that? Have some level of respect for your own profession, right? Let's stick to the facts. Where's your case, sir? Because we've been waiting, okay? And going after Yannetti, like personally using this guy to talk about something that supposedly is not even true, that Yannetti was at the school and blah, 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 blah. It's just so low. I don't like it. I'm done. Sassy Pants, talking about the judge with Lisa, she absolutely does. However, she was supposed to rotate out of this hearing in court division a year ago, said she was seeing this case through. And yes, we did that when we did the judge video the other day. We showed when she was asked to recuse herself, and she said no. So I don't know. She has that power. She can do that. Sassy Pants, this was also prior to the defense asking her to recuse herself. Exactly. We have, and I want to say hi to Ask Bob. I put your comment, but I didn't read it. So hi, Ask Bob. Everybody say hi, Ask Bob. Such great analysis, intuition. Beyonce, thanks. Not the first time people call me Beyonce. And then we got Michael Aaron, 100% lie about Chief, just like he lied about calling the EMEA whack job. Exactly. Those are the lies I'm talking about that were 100% caught. And he tries to gaslight people, and he tries to say, well, yeah, I was saying rookie move not going to meet with the ME to get that homicide determination. He says, yeah, she's a whack job. And then they ask her, did you call the ME a whack job? He's like, no, I did talk about the determination. Sir, people are not stupid. I don't know who you're fooling in your house or in your with your friends, but no. YouTube is being redacted to my comments. Oh, that's not cool. I don't know why. I don't know why, Michael. Your comments are so good all the time. So, anyways, let's go back to this little clip here.
I do. From all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. She's a whack job. CUNT.
Objection.
So don't spell it. You have to. So these are your words, Trooper Proctor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Hunt.
Oh,
yeah, she's
I
a babe.
should have cut
Weird
that.
Fall River accent,
Ah!
though. No ass.
No
And sir, what is it that
integrity.
you were referring to there, or why would you text that?
These were, from all accounts, he was doing wrong.
words.
Is talking about the homeowner, Mr. Albert.
Which accounts? Please, somebody tell me what the accounts. What are the accounts that made this guy determine that Mr. Albert didn't do anything in this case? What are the accounts? Jennifer McCabe? That's all I have for now because Carrie Roberts didn't say that.
I had mentioned the compelling evidence against Ms. Reed at this point indicated that Mr. Albert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death. The rest of the
Oh my God. So, anyways, now we're gonna start with the cross, the first cross, I believe, the first day. Before we go to that, Ask Bob said Berkowitz and I can't say this. Rafferty are more involved than we know. Yeah. Why is Chief Berkowitz, who was retired, if my memory serves me correctly, hanging out at the Sally Port when the SUV arrives? Why is Brian Higgins passing by the Sally Port when the SUV arrives or 9 minutes earlier? And why does he keep his key card but dials the access code? Because he said he never went there. Why are these things happening? So yes, a cover up sounds like a conspiracy theory, but in this case, not so much, because this case has been all about the prosecution trying to defend themselves. That's the case so far. Tomorrow, Monday, somebody can come in and just bring evidence to us, and we're going to be like, oh, wow, we didn't know. We didn't know. Carrie did it, and that's it. She's guilty. But so far, it has been all about Lolly trying to defend his witnesses who lied and lied to his face. Trooper Proctor told him he didn't know the Alberts. He lied to his face, and he still tried to defend him. It makes me mad. It makes me mad. She's so knowledgeable about this case. Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm sure you guys are all watching all this every day. This trial is bananas. Banty Hinkle, cops cover up. See. Karina, I think he was on long-term sick. Could be. You are hilarious, Bianca. I just get mad. And I can't pronounce words correctly. Michael Aaron, now on cross, he looks like he will cry and have a heart attack live on TV. And this is the first day of cross because I'm doing this in order. So a couple of things we're going to notice. He is going to have his face down a lot, right? Because actually, I don't think he feels shame. I don't think it is capable of feeling shame, but it's looking down. He's looking down. Sorry, I keep calling him an it. He keeps looking down with the eyebrows down and then the eyebrows raised because he sees something that he texted. He's like, oh crap, that's what I texted. And then his eyebrows go way, way up. And then this is just Alan Jackson ready to punch him in the face. And then you have the friends, the chief, the co-workers, right? Guys, I haven't found any nudes yet. LOL, she's this, da 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 da, and everybody's laughing. Now, I'll be honest, I may catch some backfire on this. Guys are guys, and I'm not saying all guys are all guys are guys. But when it comes to the nudes comments, I was like, all right, this is like, locker room talk, or they're all guys, they work together. They were saying she's a pretty lady. We didn't find any naked pictures. Ha ha ha. Okay. I was like, all right. Don't kill me, everybody. But then when he starts with the other comments, absolutely disgusting and absolutely not something that absolutely not catch that something that normal people do, especially talking about her medical conditions, calling her name, so much rage, so much hate for this woman that he doesn't even know, supposedly. And where's that coming from? We got Sassy Pants. Berkowitz was on medical leave and since has retired. Referee, I haven't heard of this referee. Maybe I have to go back and check. Was the acting chief at the time and is currently the chief of CPD. Isn't it strange she hasn't been called as a witness? Oh, it's a woman. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because Proctor keeps saying it wasn't my decision and somebody up did it. I don't know who did it. Blame, 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 blame. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Lisa makes me think they lie about something on every single report. They write on anyone. Absolutely. This is the whole thing about this case that makes us so nervous and so interested in this case is with the amount of power that is given to these people, investigators, judge, prosecutors, it is so concerning that if they do this with this investigation, of course they do this as a common practice because of the way that they behave and their demeanor when responding, when confronted. It shows us that they're not used to being accountable. They're not used to making a mistake. I work in real estate. And if I make a mistake, I'll be like, "Oh my god, no, let me correct this immediately for you if I have to pay out of my own pockets." I haven't, thank God that hasn't really happened, but if I had made a mistake, I would be so apologetic and remorseful and just do my best to rectify. I would never be in this position of, well, it was this person, it was that person, it was that person, because you have to take responsibility for your actions, right? I think that's what they're talking about when they talk about integrity in work. Um, Sassy Pants, in my opinion, Proctor has no shame. He's only sorry he got caught. Yes, and we're gonna get to that. The fact that he has no shame, no remorse, no empathy. Those are the red flags, I'll call it red flags, that I arrived to. So then let's go to cross. So here is another. I hate when my slides go faster than I do. So a couple of body language things we're gonna catch on the cross. So again, he's gonna do a lot of the tongue juts. The tongue juts usually occur after a sentence. So tongue jut is when seen when people get caught doing something they shouldn't, or when they get caught when they screw up, or they're getting away with something. In his case, is all the time, right? Because he's really literally getting caught about every single stupid thing he said, and also the things he did in this case and didn't do. His eyebrows raised, fear. It could be fear, disbelief, or disapproval. I believe in his case they are disbelief of him being in this position. They are not of disapproval. They're not of fear. I don't believe he's feeling those feelings, and that's just my opinion. I believe that based on his whole personality, he is in disbelief for being questioned. Okay. The furrowed forehead could be worry, shock, and anxiety. Again, I believe he's just shocked that this is his position right now. And we'll get to more of why I am getting into these conclusions, like Sassy Pants mentioned. She's onto something, right? She believes he has no shame. She's onto something. We got this next one talking about the disappearing lips. So these behaviors and what we call clusters, because they happen over and over again, or they happen simultaneously on the face, they usually happen, especially with the lips, after a sentence. So people will be questioned about something uncomfortable. They will answer it, and after their answer, after the response, it will be, or the disappearing lips, something's wrong, or the tongue jut, I got caught. Then we have the disappearing person, which is him here on the bottom when he does that closing the eyes, the delay in opening his eyes that we talked about. So let's get to the cross, a little bit of cross. This is the first day of cross. Oh, I have to go to YouTube, I think, for that. Sorry, guys. This clip was way too long for me to put in the slide. So I just have to go here real quick. And we're gonna wait, sorry about that. Let me just add this one and we're good.
Oh, yes, sir.
Trooper Fanning, Trooper Butnick, Trooper Moore, and Trooper Kutzkowski.
Kakowski.
Kakowski.
Tell me that again.
Kakowski.
Kakowski.
Yes, sir.
I love saying that
And
name.
you were bragging to all 5 of them
Kakowski. Sorry.
that you were going through Karen Reed's cell phone about 9:45 at night.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
No, I wasn't bragging. So going through his retarded client's phone right now.
You were shown a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
The copy that I was going to use.
Oh, I thought I gave him that to you.
Document that you were shown, copy of the same document that you were shown by Mr. Unetti, correct?
Still Lally.
I've done that twice. Mr.
Don't
Lau,
call you
Correct.
Natty Lally.
Yes.
Excuse
that's
me.
Mr. Moore.
Okay, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you what's on there. Have that.
Trooper Proctor,
I am not Trooper Proctor.
Trooper DeChico had sent you a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
You see that, gentleman?
I do, sir.
Is that the photograph that you received?
Yes.
Is that what you referred to on direct examination with Mr. Lally about receiving a photograph from Mr. Unetti?
Your Natty's like, pull up, KO, KO. I'm right here. Tell it, say it to my face. KO. Sorry.
Correct. I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
Actually, your response was, I'm going through his retarded client's phone right now, correct?
Yes, after the picture, sir. Yes.
Who's the retarded client?
I was referring to Miss Reed again, unprofessional language.
I'm asking who you were referring to.
Miss
I know
Reed.
You got an explanation. Who was it you were referring to as retarded?
Miss Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator. The person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded, correct?
Again, poor language on my part.
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right?
Objection.
I've got to sustain that, Mr. Jackson.
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
I hate that man. I truly hate him,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Sure. How do you feel about it now? You're sitting right there.
I still don't care for him. No.
I'll let it stand.
They knew I was going through location data, text messages, Google searches. But like I had mentioned earlier, I had to stop.
Except Trooper Proctor,
I am not Trooper Proctor.
none of that really professional sounding stuff ended up in your comments to your bosses. What did you write after you talked about going through the quote retarded client's phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No news so far.
No nudes so far,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
You were looking for naked photographs of Miss Reed on a Wednesday night as you sat in your office at 9:44 p.m., correct?
No, not correct.
You were supposed to be objectively investigating. Does your text message to your colleagues at Massachusetts State Police reflect an objective investigation of a citizen?
Objection.
You can get part of that question and ask it again.
She's like, ask it again. Go.
That your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator.
Objection.
I'll allow that. Do you believe that, Trooper Proctor?
I believe poor jokes have, in unprofessional language, have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
It's not that they don't have any bearing on the facts and integrity. It's that they have no place in a professional investigation because it shows bias. You weren't so much as objectively investigating Karen Reed as objectifying her, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Isn't that right?
Rephrase the question, please.
I
You
don't
weren't so
understand.
much as objectively
I don't
investigating
understand the
her
question.
as objectifying her in those moments, correct?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke that I should not have texted out. But from the start of the investigation, we didn't know what we.
Mr. Unetti, didn't it?
Objection.
Allow it.
He did, sir.
After you received the photo, that's when you said, I'm quote, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Is that right?
Objection.
Allow this, but not too many more.
Sure. Is that correct? It's on the top of page
Yes, sir.
685.
That's correct.
And your Buchanan liked that comment. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Didn't it?
I see you laughed at an image here, sir. I can't tell if he.
Pull up
Like that
now.
comment, sir.
Laugh now.
Trooper Proctor, this is your direct chain of command. Is that right?
I am not Trooper Proctor.
You're Buchanan.
Yes, sir.
Did you believe that your conduct was a misuse of your authority and power as you were going through her phone in August of 2022?
Objection.
Allow it.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I had a warrant signed by a district clerk, Stoughton district clerk, to go through Miss Reed's phone. I don't think it was an abuse of power. I had every right to go through that phone.
Did the warrant say anything about looking for nudes of my client?
Objection.
Did it?
Did it
No,
say anything about that?
no, Your Honor.
Did it say anything about nudes, Your Honor? She's like, I don't care. She's like, let it burn today because I don't. And I think not today, but the second day he testified, he was saying something to the judge. And he was like, whatever, ma'am. Like he didn't call her Your Honor, and I don't know. I like the judge on the day that Proctor testified, but then that's it. I'm back. I'm back to the, she's way too hard on the defense and not so hard on Lolly. Let's see here what you guys are talking. You guys are talking about something that I don't know. The inverted video. Let's go back all the way here up to see. Sassy pants. He, not her. No, it starts here. I'm also curious about Deputy Chief Kelleher's. Did she have conversations with them regarding his own surveillance cameras? He also had solo cups for the cops, but didn't see or hear anything. If Karen hit John, Keller's video would already be in evidence. Right. They keep introducing all kinds of videos and demonstrations, but when it comes to what about the video of the actual scene and the time that the car was there? Nobody has video. What about the video of the SUV arriving, with the tail? We can't see that part. What about the accident reconstruction today showing that Karen Reed couldn't possibly have hit her tail light and had it break? Did he have two cars? Did he try to do a demonstration with two cars? No, he didn't. It's just such a waste of time. I love how H-Bag. Hi, H-Bag. I love your name. I love how I can't say this name. Referee was the one that gave the MSP video, the inverted video. Interesting. Lisa Lee, for him to think everyone has nudes on their phone tells me his wife has tons of her phones and saying, and imagine the amount of people that they have investigated, and they have access to everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyone know what really happened with that juror today? The one that got booted out. I don't know, but you guys probably have all the tea. So back to this. The lemon face is something that he does also. The lemon face is a form of anxiety, is when you like suck the sides of your lips or the corners of your lips. it just shows anxiety. That's something that he shows a lot. Sassy Pants, Bianca, you were saying her name correctly. Referee. Referee. Okay, great. I'll just think about soccer then, and then I'll be able to say it. H bag. Nick Rocco said the juror got dismissed because they said to another juror that Karen smiles too much, so she got booted. Oh, juicy gossip. Juicy, juicy, juicy. You know what? I mean, God forbid, try to judge somebody in that position, right? In any of the positions, in the positions of the witnesses on the stand, or Karen as the defendant, or the attorneys, or anybody, right? It's easy for us to sit here and talk about everybody, but I cannot imagine how Karen is holding up. But I do think that sometimes, because of all the media, because of all the attention, because of all the support she has, and people being like, yeah, let's get them now we're gonna get them on this, that sometimes her face is like, a little bit, but that's just, we're human, right? We're human, so I understand that, but some people may take it the wrong way. So then let's see, we got more cross. It's gonna get hotter. Let me see if this is a video or a slide that I have to stop. Oh, okay. So slide that I have to stop. Here is they're talking about Toad Lollipop, or Slimy Lolly, however you may prefer to call him. You didn't know the Alberts or McCabe, correct? He looks right at the jury and he says, correct. And that pisses me off so much, because he does that over and over again when he's caught with something like horrible. He's like, I knew them were Alberts, but then I told the prosecutor I didn't know them. And then I say, correct. And look at his face is like, nothing's wrong. No, I'm above the law. Why are you asking me questions? Confronted about the Alberts, looks at someone in the top right. So when he looks at someone in the top right, is so quick. And I don't know who the heck he's looking at. Christine, oh snap. Yeah, because of the jury, right, guys? Very, very weird. But anyways, let me not get carried away here, because I want to stay with the comments. I want to keep talking to you guys, but we do have to watch the little clips, because otherwise, what are we doing here, right? Just, we'll do it all. We'll do it all. We have we're going to be here for a minute. So this is more of the cross. Wait, do I have to go to YouTube? I have to go to YouTube. Okay, so let's keep talking. While I go to YouTube real quick and put this video, because it was too large for my little system. Okay, wait. And here we go.
Who's hit by a 6,000-pound car with no bruises. Ever.
The pedestrian strikes I've seen, she's a whack job.
From all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job. That's what you wrote, correct?
Correct.
16 hours into this investigation.
What I meant by that was,
did you or did
what
you not have
happened was,
all
I have a
accounts
checking
in
and
your
a
investigation?
savings.
the accounts we had was Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Karen Reed had told me that she had left him there.
Because she was so
It was
hysterical and
horrifying.
so upset.
Erratic.
And from all
That was a
accounts,
shocking
he didn't do
horror.
a thing wrong. That was
Horror.
your decision 16 hours into the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And the other decision that you made and the other determination you came to was my client, Karen Reed, was a whack job, right?
Ah!
Yes.
And look at his face. Looks up. Is he still here?
So following
Shock
that
and
text,
horror.
I responded, yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though.
Oh, what a
No
douche.
ass.
Now you're talking about her body, her physique. correct?
Ooh, the women are
Yes.
gonna like that.
that's appropriate?
Canceled.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
I
not.
sat there in shock and horror.
And then what did you write?
She's fucked.
There's nothing evil here.
Roberts, didn't you? Put the case on Miss Reed. She was going to catch the case, correct?
No, absolutely not.
But also, yes.
What did you mean then when you said she's...
After the day's investigation with multiple troopers conducting multiple tasks, debriefing at Canton PD amongst detectives in my office, we went through the overwhelming amount of evidence against Miss Reed.
What you meant by that comment, Trooper Proctor, was you were going to make sure because... Sir?
In the investigation part, absolutely. Through these text messages, absolutely not. They were juvenile and regrettable.
When you say they're juvenile and regrettable, it sounds like you're almost apologizing to the jury for your
No.
conduct. Is that what you're
He
doing?
can't.
For those text,
Objection.
For the text
Sustained.
messages, see, he's unable
Trooper
to feel
Proctor, you ever
remorse.
apologize to Miss Reed?
Objection.
He doesn't even
Sustained.
look at her. Look at that. The only reason I'm pausing real quick. The only reason why he's saying that is because he has to. Because I don't feel like he regretted. I don't feel like he has any remorse. He got caught, right? And even with the Yannetti comment, he had to say, "Oh, I still feel the same way." So to me, it means you feel the same way about everything, about Karen Reed, about everything, and you would do everything over again. The unfortunate situation, Mr. Trooper Duper, is that you got caught, right? Because look at that. He could have been like, right now, he has an opportunity, even before the prosecution, Slimy Lolly, objected. He could have looked at her and be like, you know what? I am truly sorry. He could try that, but we're not gonna buy it.
As a lead investigator in this case, you were tasked with the responsibility of making sure that the investigation remained free of any conflicts of interest. That's part of your job, correct?
correct.
Or did you know the Alberts? And your answer was no.
No, I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
Oh no.
Or know them.
Why do you gaslight, sir? Why do you gaslight? Do you know the Alberts? I don't have a relationship with the Alberts. Ugh! I think the jury catches the... look, I don't think the jury catches a lot of things that we catch because we have time to go back and rewatch, or, you know, I don't know. I don't think they catch everything that we catch. But these type of things, when the witness is asked a specific thing, did you know the Alberts? And they rephrase it. I didn't have a relationship with the Alberts. I think I would be infuriated. Like, are you trying to say that I'm stupid, sir?
I don't know the McCabe's. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
So you do know
ask-
the Alberts, correct?
Yep. We know,
I know
you
some
do.
of them, Julie and Chris.
And Kevin,
And you and Colin,
bastard.
correct?
Correct, and Colin.
And you knew the Alberts when you gave this testimony in February of 2024.
Ah.
Is that right?
Yeah, they asked if there was any relationships.
They didn't ask that.
The way I interpreted relationships was basically being like friends or, communications, frequent communications. That's how I interpret it.
Well, I know Colin, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
That might have been a good time to answer the question, I know these three individuals, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
To disclose even a potential conflict of interest in this case that you might have, correct?
Correct.
And you indicated
He
it
looks
needs
at
never
the
come up.
jury like,
Is that right?
God.
Correct.
You also told ADA Lally that you, quote, did not have relationships with,
Blimey
did not have
Lally.
relationships or know members of the Albert or McCabe families, correct?
Correct.
And that's just not true, is it? You did know, you do know members of the Albert family. Isn't that right?
It's different from having a relationship with people.
But
Do
what
you
about
know
part
them?
of the question,
Do you know them?
did not have
Alan's like,
relationships
"Ah!"
or know members of the
I'm sorry to pause. This is exactly what gaslighting is. Is Alan Jackson, he's a master at catching this, but he's getting frustrated because he's asking the guy, "Did you know them?" My interpretation is that I didn't have a relationship with them. It's just like you just want to take a you just want to sorry, I'm so sorry about it.
Albert or McCabe families. How about that part of the question?
Well, that's lumped in with the McCabes. I don't know the McCabe family, sir.
I see.
An
So what
idiot.
you did, Trooper Proctor, is you dissected the sentence. And where relationships are concerned, that's what you did?
No.
So it's sustained. You
also,
can ask it. You
yes.
can break it down, Mr. Jackson.
Not sure I can.
Okay, so let's go back to how do I go? Hi everybody, we're back. We're back. He aggravates me so much that I'm sorry for all my reactions today because Proctor was okay. So my least favorite was Brian Albert because Brian Albert was very arrogant and sarcastic and just demeanor of being above the law. Then I got Brian Higgins, which is not my least favorite. He's kind of like my favorite because he's so not very smart. And then we got Proctor, who at first I was like, oh my God, this guy's being humiliated on the stand. Like I've never seen anybody being humiliated before. That's not nice. I'm a human being. I have compassion. But then I get to know him a little bit. I see his gaslighting and his lack of remorse and all the things we're going to still discuss towards the end. And I have no pity because he's used to doing this. He's used to abusing his power and to change words and use the word salad and the gaslighting towards people. And probably he wasn't caught a lot. Most people in his circle may just go along with his style. So I want to pause here to say hi to everybody who just got here. I saw we have PMCP. Hello, PMCP. Welcome. I know you said you're a little late, right? Oh, and I saw your comment about your live in the chat from the day 25. Hope to catch the other one from the beginning. Yes, I don't know how to advertise this, so I'm just going around and making comments everywhere, hoping that people will come to the channel. This is what you said before. I didn't think I would remember your YouTube name, but I took a chance and here you are. I'm an hour behind, but I'll start from the beginning. So please subscribe, comment, share, help me out, guys. And that way you also get notifications. I do a lot of videos like this and I'm trying to do lives as well so that you guys can participate. But yeah, my name was like really long. I didn't know because initially I had put at Bianca MMM for Mind Meditation Motivation. But then I noticed my name was actually Mind Meditation Motivation. People were like, that's way too long. So anyways, I changed it to Bianca MMM. Hopefully it's easier for everybody to watch. Peter Morrison, when you coming to Boston to watch the trial live, oh my God, that would be crazy. I could totally go. The only thing I have is my little dog, Whisper, who is actually, I don't know where he is. He's probably in the living room. And that's the only thing. Like, what would I do with Whisper during the trial? Like, I can't leave him in the hotel all day. But other than that, I would totally go. I mean, I think that courtroom doesn't have space for anybody. Christine seemed almost like he was defending his behavior at some points. Yeah, he's very proud of himself. He will say the investigation was done with the utmost integrity. Sir, no, it wasn't. It wasn't because you just ignored everybody else except for your main suspect. That's it. You didn't question anybody else. There was no integrity. You didn't disclose your relationships or knowing these people, the Alberts, well, I think it was just the Alberts, but you didn't disclose that to anybody. You lied to the prosecutor when he asked you if you knew them. You said no. You lied in the grand jury saying no. So you lied today as we're watching this. As you said, I only know Chris and what's her name? Julie? No, I don't know. Nicole? I think it's Nicole. Chris Albert, Nicole Albert. No. What about Colin? Oh, yeah, there's Colin. What about Kevin? Right. Right. Karina. Hi, Karina. I can't believe Karina is still awake. What time is it over there, Karina? So much avoidance of answering the questions. Right. And that's something we catch, right? I think that we catch. It's our gut feelings. Lisa Lee is trying to say relationships means romantic. Now I feel like we're going to back to Brian Higgins, right? Wait, romantic is flowers. Sir, relationships is just romantic. I was wondering the same thing as I'm listening to Proctor testify. I'm like, what does he think a relationship is? Because he's going out to drink with this guy Kevin. He's talking about they see each other at the gym. I mean, it's a relationship. It's a person relating with another person. Of course, there's different levels, but sir, do you know them? Yes, you do know them. That's the simple answer, and you can't even say that because it's too hard for you. Corina says it's 2 a.m., 2:05 a.m. Oh my God, guys. Let's send her a lot of hearts. I can't believe that. I'm so sorry, Corina. That's why sometimes I'm going to try to do lives at like 3, 4 p.m. here so that you can catch them at a decent hour. PMCP. Just like and subscribe. I know this may sound silly, but I had never had someone read or address a comment from me live. Kind of cool. Thanks and good luck with your channel. Oh, you're welcome. If you would, right, I remember my first few channels that I became like a fan of, and when they read my comment, I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm here. He's reading my comment, like you can see me or something." I'm a fan of Robert Gouveia. Oh, Robert Gouveia. I am such a fan of Robert Gouveia. I haven't seen his show in a while. Christine, he had to admit to knowing those ones because pictures came out of them altogether. Exactly. He only admits to things when he's caught. He gets caught. He's like, all right. But then he has no problem just looking at us and the jury and just saying, yeah, correct. Banana face. Estevamo, I think the name change is a good choice. You're always improving. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the advice that you guys are giving me too in the comments. Oreo Cookie. Hi, Oreo Cookie. I love your dog. His doe eye reminds me of Wendy Adelson. They think we are as dumb as they are. Yes. They really think we are dumb, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But now, what do we got? We got more cross? My goodness, we're just beginning. So in the next little clip that we have from the cross, we're going to see some variations of his body language. We see some new stuff that he's doing. He's going to start to do the little face touching, which it's not necessarily, okay, people touch their face when they're lying. No. But people touch their faces when they're under stress sometimes, right? They're pacifying behavior. So you're being asked about something. So I have here on the slide that the trigger was they're talking about Julie calling his personal cell phone. So he goes, he itches, then he does the disappearing lips, which is for something is wrong. Then he does the tongue jut, which is I got caught. So it's just it makes sense. It makes sense that the trigger would elicit some type of responses like this. And then let me see what these bald heads are. I can't. Okay, here you go. Okay, this is just his face looking at the jury and saying absolutely not. Now, would you believe this cute face? Would you believe this face? I don't know, Trooper Proctor. I don't know if they're believing you, but we'll try. We'll keep watching you. And then when he said nothing jumped out. So here is when the attorney is questioning him about his text messages to his sister. He's saying, this is the victim. This is it's like, this is the house where the body was found. This is the victim's name. This is the lady. This is what's happening. I'm going to call these witnesses this day. And then the attorney is asking, do you think there's any information there about the case that you shouldn't be sharing with your sister? He's like, nothing jumped out. Then he does a tongue jut. In social or business discussions, this tongue jut behavior is usually seen towards the end of dialogue when one person feels he has gotten away with something and the other party has failed to detect or pursue the matter. If you see the tongue-jutting behavior, ask yourself what just transpired. Consider whether you may have been fooled or cheated, or that you or someone else just made a mistake. This is the time to assess whether someone is putting one over you, right? And in this case, I mean, this guy's getting caught all the time. He's getting caught all the time. So it's nothing new for us here. And then we have his facial expressions, the trigger again, texting with his sister, when they're talking about, you know, her friends could be suspects in a murder investigation. He has the nostrils flares very quick. I don't know if you guys even will be able to see in the clip, but his nostrils flare, his one eyebrow raises as a show of cynicism where the red arrow is, and then he looks at the attorney like, I'm not gonna answer that, right? So I don't know. Here we go. Lisa, smaller chats seem like more of a conversation interaction, but growing your chat number probably feels awesome. I'll share your channel. Thank you so much. It really helps. Anything you guys can do. And yes, this is great because I'm getting to know you guys, and we're kind of like building our whole our little community here. I think it's great. Karina, who's awake at 2 a.m. My husband John is convinced that they all have shaved heads so that they don't leave they don't leave any hair crime scenes. He's also cracking up at all your graphics, Bianca. Oh my God. Ask him if he ever watched Fringe and The Observers, because I'm like, am I the only one that can see it? Whatever. Ask Bob. I hope we're not paying for their haircuts too. Probably. Camry Girl 84 in the house. I love your content. Thank you so much. Christine, I came for this live and stayed for the chat. Yeah, the chat is nice. It's very nice today. I love it that you guys are talking among each other. And okay, so here we're going to talk about something that doesn't come up a lot is the one shoulder. The one shoulder that just like the one weird shoulder that just moves on its own, like nobody's asking to show. Usually when we don't know something, we're like, I don't know, like both shoulders rise, right? I don't know. But then this one shoulder is actual sign of deception, which is not very common to actually have something that this is a sign of deception. But let's read this real quick before we go to the next clip. Honest and true responses will cause both shoulders to rise sharply and equally. Expect people to give full shoulder shrugs when they confidently support what they're saying. There is nothing wrong with saying I don't know while both shoulders rise up toward the ear. Now, when one shoulder rises, chances are the individual is not limbically committed to what he or she's saying and is probably being evasive or even deceptive. And now I think for this next clip, I have to go to YouTube again. So keep chatting. Give me 1 second just so I can copy and paste the link. And go.
You indicated that you might need to look at a phone record or a phone log to determine whether or not that. Did you take that as you got to be kidding me? The Alberts are involved?
No, absolutely not.
How do you know?
And then you wrote, it's not a big deal, correct?
Correct. Nothing jumped out at me.
Your sister's literally explaining that your family friends are suspects or possible suspects in a murder investigation that you're in charge of. Correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Newsworthy, would you have gone to the news at this point in the investigation? Would you have gone to the news and said, Julie and Chris were at the bar, I got to go interview them? Well,
Too specific.
Newsworthy, would you have gone to the news at this point in the investigation? Why is it, Trooper Proctor, that Colin Albert's name fails to appear in a single police report until July 18, 2023?
Colin Albert was not at the home. He left.
How do you know?
at approximately 12:10 a.m. before
So tired of the script, he can't
anyone
breathe.
from the waterfall had arrived back there. Colin Albert was not at the home. He left at approximately 12:10 a.m.
Introduced into evidence?
Correct.
Is there an objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
There
Objection
wasn't.
sustained.
Is it
But
true
thanks, Judge.
that in your handwritten notes, you list the following individuals based on Juliana Nagel's conversation with you as,
for the interview.
and that report is the thing that's turned over to the Commonwealth, correct?
Yes,
And the report is the thing that's entered into discovery and provided to the defense.
correct.
Was there one name left out?
The-
Break that down, Mr. Jackson.
Sure. Isn't it true
He's so annoyed.
that in your report, you excluded the one name, Colin Albert, from the list of individuals that were in your notes?
Yes, because he arrived later in the evening. The other females were there from the start.
18
Wait,
months
what?
after the incident, correct?
Correct.
Heather Maxson, she was not interviewed until September 21st, 2023, 17 months later, correct?
Correct.
Or that's actually, my math is off, that's about 18 months later, is that right?
Correct.
Richard D'Antano, September 2nd, 2023, is that right?
Yes.
So you waited more than 18 months to interview him as well, is that right?
Yes.
You testified under oath on April 21st, 2022 in the state court grand jury proceeding.
I don't know what
that
happened
no
there.
snowplow traveled down Fairview Road
Oh,
on January 29th, correct?
Correct.
Why did you say that, Trooper Proctor?
yes.
That
Why?
was-
Why?
Based off interviews with Mr. Trotter, that the plows weren't out until they met up at 2:30. And then it was my understanding they were focusing on the main roadways.
That's not what he
You're
said.
aware that Michael Trotter testified in this case?
Okay.
Okay.
Were you
Like-
aware or not?
No,
Okay.
Just like call it. Okay.
Is that true?
that's simply not true. Absolutely not.
Certainly, you didn't want to
Maybe
talk to anybody who
absolutely
could say that there was no
yes.
body on the lawn at 2:30 in the morning. Is that right?
No, it's not true.
Are you aware that Lucky Laughran, in fact, did report that there was nobody on the
Objection,
lawn
Your
at
Honor.
2:30?
So the objection sustained, I'm going to strike.
Not until Sergeant Buchanan and I. Not until Sergeant Buchanan and I. Not until Sergeant Buchanan and I. Not until Sergeant Buchanan and I interviewed him.
And that was when?
I can't recall the exact date.
And that was after the defense brought him to your attention, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Not true?
Correct.
Are you still the case agent in charge of this case?
Yes.
Why?
As the lead investigator and the case agent, you're aware it's also your responsibility and your obligation to investigate all potential individuals, right? All potential suspects. As the lead investigator and the case agent, you're aware it's also your responsibility. Motive includes anything from financial gain to could just be revenge, right?
Yes.
Could be a lover's quarrel, correct?
Yes.
Or it could be someone who's interested in someone romantically, correct?
Could be an argument inside of a vehicle.
Okay, so here's where I think I turned like completely. I was like, okay, see, this is showing how you're not objective at all because you're taking the script, you're taking the story you have, and you're inserting it into your testimony. All you had to do was say, yes, it could have been. Yes, it could have been. And then he's showing his true self, his sarcasm, and it could have been an argument inside the vehicle. Right, sir. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
And he has to
What
repeat
did you
it.
answer?
So, or it could be an argument contained inside a vehicle as well.
Yeah, which is the conclusion you jumped to 17 hours into your investigation,
Banana
right?
face.
Objection.
Oh,
Is that right?
It's
Breathe. Take a deep breath. Insert the script.
something, evidence we have contained within cell phones reiterates that fact.
When you decided that you were going to make sure that the girl, I think that's what you called it, the girl was going to have serious charges brought against her 17 hours into your investigation,
Mhm.
you didn't have any evidence whatsoever that there was an argument inside the vehicle, did you?
To go towards intent, no. But as far as the physical evidence goes, we have compelling
Overwhelming.
evidence indicating Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
So you just did
Okay,
this.
Mr. Jackson, I just have to keep your voice up, Trooper Proctor, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Motive, means, and opportunity. We talked a little bit about motive. What about means? The physical ability to commit the crime, right? That's obviously important.
Yes.
And the opportunity. It's a physical proximity to the incident, correct? Or the
Correct.
physical ability to commit the crime, correct?
Correct.
Did you investigate all potential suspects who would have had the motive, means, and opportunity to kill John O'Keefe?
Yes, and that motive means factored in with the physical evidence
Dude.
pointed directly at Miss Reed. There's no one else had any motive. Mr. O'Keefe never went inside Fairview Road.
And you got all that, of course, from the Albertson case, right?
Tell them the guy never went into the house. There's nothing evil here. Oh no,
Did
I don't
anyone
want,
talk
no,
about
I don't want to watch another one. Okay, so back to this. Oh my God. So now, oh no spoiler alerts. No spoil. Now you guys already saw it. You guys already saw what's coming. But I just want to read some of your comments here. PMCP. Speaking of faces, wait until you hear him as he leaves the stand. I don't know if it was a courtesy or his ego, but it didn't go over well with me at all. I don't remember that. Maybe I didn't catch that. I gotta go back. I can't go back and watch it anymore. Lisa Lee, I agree with you. I just hope I don't annoy people with all my comments. Not at all. Keep the comments coming. We have fun here. We have fun. Margot Michelle. Hey, I just dropped in to send a shout out from Barbados. This trial gets wilder by the minute. Proctor needed to be proctored. I agree. I'm like not sorry at all that he's in this position. Sassy Pants at Christine. I love to see Bianca and Mike from the Young Jerks do a stream together. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, let him know. Karina, he knows because all of those other really honest party guests said he wasn't there. Exactly. That's all he needed for his overwhelming, compelling case. And he could have a case. I don't know what happened. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what happened at that day. But how can anyone trust anything he says or does? And why, if anything, if any reasons is he still the lead case officer in this? I don't know the name. The lead investigator in this. Why? Lisa Lee says he's not even considering any other way. Exactly. They're so rehearsed, asked Bob. They're so rehearsed to say absolutely not and look at the jury. Right. And in his case, he also says compelling evidence, overwhelming, blah, blah, blah. And then he ends with that Miss Reed hit Mr. O'Keefe with her car and left him there. That's something he likes to say. Or those are juvenile comments and are regretful comments, unprofessional, absolutely, blah, blah, blah. It's just a script. PMCP, Proctor and McCabe are making it very hard for me to wait to hear all the evidence before I decide. Exactly. That's the thing. And once people get like kind of a bias, right? It's really hard. Like if you're sitting in the jury and you're listening to something and there's like somebody like this, Proctor, and you're like, that's it. I'm done. These people are just making fools out of us. I'm not believing a word they're saying next. Then everybody that you're going to listen to afterwards, you're going to have that in the back of your mind. You're going to have that little bias in the back of your mind, and it has to be really compelling evidence at this point for the prosecution to have a shot. And I haven't seen it yet. It's not compelling enough. So Karina is saying absolutely not isn't exactly a no either. They're all avoid saying no so they can try and get away with not being truthful. Yeah, and it's so weird that they all say the same things. The guy never went to the house. Mr. O'Keefe never went to the house. How do you know that? Did you do an investigation in the house? Sir, we're better detectives than you. An Oreo cookie. Oh, I would love some Oreo cookies right now. Remember when Yannetti was going over Texas with one of the witnesses? Bev apologized to the jury for it taking so long. Yes, that was the day that I saw her bias. Lolly's so drawn out and Bev lets it go. Exactly. She lets slimy Lolly, do whatever he wants. Very rarely she calls him out on anything. Today she did call him out on the laughable comments, but that was outside the presence of the jury. And it's very, very disturbing how many times she calls out the defense in front of the jury. And the defense continues to remain professional. And I love it. Even when they're doing their show, they're putting on their show, right? I'm sitting there with popcorn. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm here for, because that's what these people that are trying to make us look dumb, they're testifying like people are dumb. That's what they deserve. They deserve the show, the Yannetti show and the Alan Jackson Pitbull Unleashed. Savage. Yes, they do. Two more comments and then I'm going to go to the next slide. Ask Bob. Canton is going to need the National Guard after all these cops are busted. Yeah. The thing is, though, I don't know if they're going to get busted, because I saw on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, some letter from their like, what is it? Their supervisor or whoever it was, saying that we should all be like supporting Proctor and he did a great job and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, we'll go back to the comments in a short moment. But before that, I want to introduce to you. Wait, this is what we just watched, right? I believe so. Yes. I want to introduce to you this topic, okay? And proceed with caution here. Proceed with caution. This is one of my favorite subjects, psychopathy. I have studied a little bit of it, and it's interesting. Now, I'm not calling anybody anything. I'm not making no diagnosis. All I'm saying is there are certain signs of psychopathy that are documented. And I do notice some things, and you guys tell me in the comments if you agree or not as we go over them. I do notice some things here. So, first, I'm going to read it from my screen here so that I can read bigger. Gaslighting. Gaslighting involves intentional distorting of the truth in order to manipulate another person to think, feel, or behave in a certain way. Gaslighters aim to get a person to doubt themselves and to not trust their own perceptions, making them easier to control and persuade. So, does anybody believe that Proctor has done any type of gaslighting? My opinion, for example, was when he was saying, why did you say to this question, did you know or have any relationship with the Alberts or McCabe's? And he said, no, because I saw the word relationship. And that to me meant different than knowing. But he had the word no. So that's what I mean by gaslighting. One example, because I'm sure he does a lot more. Then we also have lack of accountability. It's another sign of psychopathy. Playing the blame game. Psychopaths, which are not really a term that is used nowadays, they're not diagnosed as psychopath, but they're diagnosed as having anti-personality disorder. I had to close my eyes to remember that for a second. So psychopaths rarely take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they're more likely to blame others, make excuses, and try to justify their actions. Now, does anybody see Trooper Proctor doing any of this? Interesting, because we're going to watch some clips. Disregard for rules, laws, and norms. They don't follow the same code of ethics as most people in society, which is why they often behave in immoral or illegal ways. These may include minor offenses like making inappropriate comments and profanity, or serious offenses. Does anybody see Trooper Proctor making inappropriate comments and profanity, or not following the same rules, or making excuses for not following the rules? I don't need to keep a log. I don't need to keep anything. I don't know. And she's this and she's that and she's the other. Unaffected and unafraid of consequences. They don't always possess the same worry, this of fear of being caught. They don't possess the fear of being caught. And this is what let me just read this part. Psychopaths are believed to have abnormalities in the areas of the brain that create normal fear responses and those related to impulse control and good long-term decision making. And this is another thing. I observe him being very bored and annoyed to be in this position. I would be freaking out. Dude, am I going to prison? Like all these things I did and said and hid. And this guy is just calm and collected. Like, do you not know what's going on here, sir? Detached, cold, and callous demeanor. So there's another one. Psychopaths often display a cold, callous, and apathetic demeanor. The differences in the structure of their brains are believed to limit their ability to experience a normal range of human emotions, making them less likely to experience strong feelings in situations when others are sad, upset, anxious. So he may seem oddly detached or apathetic. So that's the feeling I got. That's the feeling I got. And I may be wrong, but my gut feeling was like, I don't know, this guy may have some type of anti-personality disorder or like a level of it. And he's the perfect guy. If there was a cover up, he's the perfect guy for this testimony because it doesn't affect him. He is fine with everything that's going on in court. So let's watch some clips to see if what I just said makes any sense.
On January 29th at 2:22 a.m., there was a call between him and Brian Albert that morning.
I was not aware of that.
Might have been important to your investigation, don't you think?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Depends what that. I don't know what the call was
I'm
about.
sorry, finish that. Depends.
I don't know what the call was about. I don't know if they actually connected and communicated what the length of the call was. So
Right. And you never asked, did you?
I was unaware that call took place.
And you unaware that that call took place because you didn't get his phone, Trooper Proctor.
Trooper Proctor.
Typically, we don't get witnesses' phones, sir.
You were unaware of that call at that time because you didn't seek his phone, correct?
Objection.
Mhm.
Correct.
See how long it takes for him to say correct? It hurts to tell the truth.
The medical examiner notified you on April 28th, 2022, that the manner of death, in her words, could not be determined. Is that right?
Yes.
Don't look at the
She
jury.
would not rule, at least in terms of the manner of death, would not rule this a homicide. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you agree that that's obviously a pretty significant finding.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Stutter.
Her finding doesn't alter how we conduct our investigation, whether if it's undetermined or ruled a homicide. We're still going to continue to investigate one way, regardless of her determination.
You obviously were not pleased with that determination.
I'm going to stop
You were
here.
not pleased.
Go to the next video. So that's what I wanted to show with him, with the stutter and the phrase, I'm unaware. Like I was unaware of that. It's a phrase that he's going to use a lot.
Determined
This is
she was
another
a whack
video.
job, right? Those are your two responses.
Calling the
right?
medical
Yes.
examiner a
We're
whack
talking
job.
about
He's going to
Dr.
say
Sporty
he
Bello,
didn't do
the
that.
female medical
Gaslighting.
examiner who came to the determination that this was undetermined in terms of the manner of death, correct?
I'm not sure who I'm referencing as far as she was a whack job, but
And me. We know.
Of course, it's undetermined is a sarcastic response from me.
Another thing he's going to do a lot is call everything a joke. Everything that comes up that is weird, he's like, oh yeah, he's joking around. Yeah, the chief was just joking around that he said rookie move, not going there to get the homicide determination. Rookie move. That's not a joke. He's saying, dude, you know better. You have to go there and make sure so that everything is, in the same place. So Not a joke. Everything's not a joke. Trooper Proctor, like Alan Jackson said. Okay, next one.
You'd agree that it's extremely unusual for the manner of death to be undetermined in a homicide investigation you've worked on, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
How many murder cases in the history of your career?
So I'm
Have you
sorry to
worked-
pause, but here comes an actual lie. So we're going to observe him in an actual lie. He's going to be asked about how many murder cases in the situation with the undetermined cause of death. He's going to say, I don't remember. I can't really put a number to it. His face is going to look like it's hurting. He's going to do a tongue jar. His forehead is going to furrow. But the lie doesn't have much effect on him because he has previously answered this question to 0, but he's going to say, I don't know. I can't put a number to it. So that's obviously a lie. Let's see how he lies. And we catch him here on the paused image with the tongue jut already. Let me make this bigger and this bigger. That's a tongue jut right there. And let's see how he's going to continue this.
Done in which the medical examiner made the determination that the manner of death could not be determined.
Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
The longest pauses.
Wouldn't feel comfortable putting a number on
The
it. It's not a
number is
lot.
0.
I couldn't ballpark it for you, but I know it's not a lot.
0.
Well, Trooper Proctor, you were asked this exact question in
0.
February of 2024 at
They all need
another
to go.
proceeding.
Mhm.
Christy. Look at
And
him
you indicated
lying.
that you had never seen it in your entire career, correct?
I'm trying to run it.
Well, you were asked the question, so first, what do you mean by, of course it's undetermined? And your answer was,
She's
I
a
said it
whack
at the
dog.
time, it was kind of like, not like figuratively, of course, it's an of course, like I had never really seen that before in a homicide, end quote. Correct?
Yes.
Your
Straight
statement
face.
in February of 2024, under oath, was you'd literally never seen that in any homicide you've ever worked, right?
Yes.
0.
After she reached that conclusion, you discussed this with one of your colleagues about how you tried to put pressure on her to change her or alter her opinion, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it. Is that
that
what
right?
you did?
Pressure? Absolutely not.
Let's turn to tab 12.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here and go to the next clip. Absolutely not. Looks at the jury like he's telling the truth. And sir, please don't look at us. Please don't look at us. Now we're gonna go to a video where he's going to be blaming somebody else or
Multiple
putting
texts
the
and multiple phone
attention
calls were
somewhere
deleted
else.
from her phone that you have in your possession?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'm not aware right now, sir.
I'll allow it.
As the case agent, as the case officer, do you believe it might be important to find out whether or not that phone appeared to have been manipulated or altered in some way before it was turned over? Wouldn't that be something that you would normally do?
That'd be important.
But you didn't do it with Jim McCabe's phone.
I didn't personally handle that. No.
It was somebody else. All right. Well, in that case, Proctor, of course, it was somebody else. Not your fault.
Did you ever seize Nicole Albert's phone?
No.
Did you ever seize
No.
Brian Albert's phone?
No.
Colin Albert's?
But
No.
Chris
it was
Albert's?
overwhelming.
No.
Julie Albert's?
No.
No. Nobody, sir? No.
Were you concerned that if you seized any or all of their phones,
Who are you looking
especially Colin, Julie, and Chris, that there might be some indicators that you knew them on those phones?
Absolutely
No. That thought
not.
never crossed my mind.
I can't pronounce this word, but it's apathetic. Like no emotion. Absolutely not. I don't know. Margot, he's angry he got caught. His behavior shows someone who is accustomed getting away with everything and has never had to serve any consequences for his bad acts. His bosses approve his behavior. 100% agree with you, Margot. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Can the judge be held accountable in any way for that? I don't think we're there yet. There's nothing really concrete that has come out like officially on the judge. I don't know. We have a video on the judge. Check it out. Just clips, but I don't know. Christine, complete lack of empathy, and joshing you. Hi, joshing you. Absolutely not is one of his tells. Yes, every time he's gonna say absolutely yes, he says absolutely not. As Bob, empathy. Yes, empathy. He has no, but the word that I was trying, apathetic, pathetic. No, I'm just kidding. It's like when you show no emotion. Apathetic is with an A in the beginning and then it's pathetic. That's the word. I'm gonna write here. Apathetic. I just can't pronounce it. Sorry for the keyboard. Okay, so then next, let's see. Another sign of the antisocial personality.
You knew that Kevin
disorder.
Albert was the primary source of the conflict, correct?
Yes.
And you knew that he, above everybody else, should be completely removed from any contact with the investigation or the investigators, right?
Correct.
And looks at the jury. Why are you looking at the jury,
Yet
sir?
when you wanted to coordinate witnesses for interviews in this case,
You're getting caught in doing boo-boos.
who'd you turn to?
Apathy.
I
Yes.
texted
Pathetic.
Kevin Albert
Apathy.
to see if he could
Thank you,
secure
guys.
a conference room for us to conduct interviews
Thank you.
at the station.
The same Kevin Albert to
Apathy.
help coordinate these witness
Oh, that's me.
interviews, who's the brother of Brian Albert, right?
Yes.
If you could turn to tab 13, please.
Like apathy. It's hard. Only social
Your
media
Honor, for the
punishment for
court's
anti-bab. Oh my
edification,
God,
it
these
should be
people
I.
are.
All right. thank you.
These people are gonna
India.
suffer in social media. So I just wanted to show you guys him looking at the jury while talking about Kevin Albert. Like, no, with impunity, which is another word that I like to use. With impunity, meaning no consequence, nothing to worry about. I believe this is when he's gonna be talking about not using the video in the Canton police.
Didn't you say
And then he's
that's
gonna
why
lie.
you didn't use it?
Oh,
No.
What was your answer, right?
he didn't say. He
No.
just said it.
What did you say?
That we didn't use it. You
Right. When I said, if you made a recording, it would be in the hands of which agency? Obviously Canton PD. And your answer was, that's why we didn't use the recorded room, right?
No, I
didn't
don't
say
recall
that.
saying that's why we didn't use
so
the room.
hold on. Let's see if he said
Why we
that.
did not use that recorded room.
That's why we did
But
not
he offered,
use.
didn't he?
He offered.
See, I didn't time it perfectly. 34, 40. Let me do it again. He's gonna say, "That's why." By the way, whoever remembers like my first stream that I didn't know how to do this, thank God now I know that you can put exact timestamp.
Those recordings would be in the hands
Listen.
of which agency?
That's why.
That's why we did not use that recorded room.
Okay, that's what he said, right? That's why we didn't use that recorded room. Now, watch this.
Didn't you say that's why we didn't use it?
No.
What was your answer, right?
Guys, he's just like lying 5 seconds ago. 5 seconds ago.
Oh.
And look at his straight
What
face.
did you say?
That we didn't use it. You
Right.
No,
When
you
I
said that's why. Look at the tongue jerk coming. I feel a tongue jerk coming. He's doing a
Said-
tongue. Yep. We got you. We got you, sir. But I think I'm gonna continue playing because he's gonna continue to lie, stutter, and lose
If
his
you
breath as
made a
usual
recording,
when he's
It
lying.
would be in the
Oh,
hands
make
of
it
which
bigger.
agency? Obviously Canton PD. And your answer was, that's why we didn't use the recorded room.
No, I
Right?
didn't say that.
No, I don't recall saying that's why we didn't use the room.
You just said
Well,
it
we
to
do,
Proctor.
sir.
It's been 10
We
minutes.
have it here on
It's been
tape.
4 minutes.
Alan
No.
Jackson,
You don't
check it
remember that?
out. Check it out, Alan Jack.
Not specifically stated like that.
All right, let me ask you a different way. If you weren't concerned
Liar,
that
liar.
the interviews could be compromised by Canton PD and Kevin Albert, why didn't you just use the room?
Boom.
It was offered up.
Again, typically we don't record interviews.
Why not? What are you hiding, sir?
With a cooperating witness, we just sit down with them, take notes. If it's someone we deem necessary to actually have a recording of, then we'll pursue that option.
So they recorded Karen Reed, I believe, at her house, and she was a cooperative witness because I remember them saying her father invited us in. We sat in the couch. She was manipulating her device, meaning she was on her phone, and you recorded her, but everybody else was a cooperating witness. Sir, your answers don't make any sense to people who can do critical thinking. Sorry. So anyways, now let me see. Okay, where's the log? I love where's the log. Where's the log?
Show me where that is.
I'm not the evidence officer. I don't have that.
I see.
Blaming.
So you didn't bring a log with you of any sort, concerning the chain of custody of these
Why
items,
would he?
correct?
No
No.
accountability.
As a matter of fact, the reason you didn't bring that chain of custody log is because none exists. Isn't that right?
Objection.
Sustained, ask it differently.
Does a
His
physical
face
log
hurts.
exist starting from January 29th, 2022 to today?
Yes.
Where's that physical log, sir?
Where's the log, sir? Where is the log?
Who?
What?
I'm not an evidence officer, so I don't know how that. Yeah. So I don't know how that's generated.
Yeah.
Right. So as the case officer, you have no idea.
Kelly
where an
Cal will
evidence
be
log
so
is
sarcastic
that
for
has something
for him.
as insignificant as, I don't know, the victim's clothing.
Objection.
Sustained.
The
He
fact of the matter
closes his
is,
eyes.
the evidence log attendant to this case regarding those clothing items starts on March 14th when they were taken to the crime lab, correct?
That's when the clothing was transported to the lab.
And that's the only log we have of what happened to those clothes between January 29th and today.
Proctor gaslit the log. Look at how his
Ooh.
face hurts.
Do you know that?
Is
I
he
don't.
human?
Not off the top of my head, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's your honor.
I want to talk for a second about the searches in Brian Albert's front lawn that took place on and after January 29th, 2022. As the case officer, Trooper Proctor, you also
I would be like, where's the
took control
log,
of the
mofo?
taillight pieces that were
KO.
ultimately claimed to have been found at
Where's
that
the log?
location, correct?
Not in all searches.
Where's your phone, Higgins? Where is
Which
your
of the pieces
phone?
that were found were you responsible for taking control over?
The 8th, 11th, and 18th.
Look at his face.
So who had control over the items that were
He
found
doesn't know.
before the 8th? You said the 8th, 11th, and 18th, right?
Those are items that I had found on those days,
Don't look at the jury.
and that I had
They don't want to look at you.
processed and essentially bagged and tagged them and handed them over to our evidence
Didn't
officer.
tag
There was
anything.
multiple days that troopers were out there looking for more evidence.
Tongue
So
jot.
there
Tongue
would be a lot with
jot.
that too.
Tongue jot, because you're looking for more evidence on multiple days and you got caught and you're doing something wrong. That's why you do a tongue jot. So let me see what this one is.
1 wrong, and you got the 6 wrong. And those turned into 5,
Oh,
and 3, and 0.
the typo.
They
The
were typos, sir.
They were typos. Sir.
Okay.
Kelly Cow, I love it when he says, sir. Yes, he hates this position he's in. And look at Karen.
Fact of the matter
So
is, you
Karen's
delivered
like,
that
yeah,
car to Canton PD
yeah.
to the Sallyport garage before a single piece of taillight material was ever found in this case. Trooper Proctor, is that correct?
Trooper
Correct. It
Proctor.
arrives at 5:31.
And you also towed it to the Canton Police Department because that was conveniently close to the location at 34 Fairview, to the crime scene, right?
That was not my decision.
Whose decision
Oh
was it?
God.
I don't recall. I know that
No
You're the case
accountability.
I wouldn't.
Who decides?
It wasn't my decision. I did not make that call, sir.
So who are we pointing the finger at? Was it Sergeant Kinnick?
Objection.
Oh,
Ask it differently.
Slimy Lolly. Slimy Lolly, please. You were introducing evidence with no discovery.
That Miss Reed's vehicle arrived at 5:30, 5:31. Right? You knew that, correct?
Yes, from the driveway camera.
But you withheld that video out of 360
She's gonna
odd
say, I
videos
don't
that you turned
recall
over.
when I
You
withheld
withheld
it.
that one and never mentioned it until February of 2024, correct?
Objection.
Is that true?
I'm not aware of that, withholding that.
I'm not aware. I'm not, look at his face. Are you hurting? Is your face hurting? You're not aware of withholding that. Sir, what do you mean you're
On
not
April
aware?
4th.
It's something you did. I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of me withholding that video from the 300 plus videos. So what is that? What does that mean? Joe Biffle, are you Greek and Spanish? You're beautiful. Thank you so much. No, I'm actually from Brazil. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna stop with other clips real quick to go over the so yeah, so later we have the clips of gaslighting. That's what we just saw now. Now the little game we're gonna play is list things Proctor was not aware of in his investigation. So I have a couple of things that I listed that he was not aware of, and that's the answer he gave. And then if you guys remember anything else, please feel free to put it in the comments. So here are things he actually answered. I was not aware of that. Okay. He was not aware that Jen McCabe's deleted calls and texts. He was not aware that the plow guy, Lucky, testified there was no body when he plowed. He was not aware that Higgins texted John the night he died to come to the house. He was not aware that Allie McCabe drove by the high school after picking up Collie. He was not aware the typo on the report showing the time the car went into the Sally Port. He was not aware of the other video from the Sally Port. That the defense inverted the video. Oh, he was not aware that the defense inverted the video back to original. That's what he watched. He was not aware that he was drunk with Kevin Albert. He was not aware how evidence is locked. Okay, so those are things that he was not aware of. Now, do you guys remember anything? So, as Bob says, they went to Karen's father's house with Karen already the primary suspect. They never went to Karen. They never read Karen's Miranda rights. That alone could get the case tossed. Towed her car, seized her phone. Exactly. And they went there to pick up the phone in the SUV. They didn't go there to hear her or to ask her how she was doing and what happened, what were the events. No, they went there with a objective, just solely based on Jennifer McCabe telling them that's what happened. How? I mean, the only explanation that if this guy didn't participate in a cover-up was that he got there, he noticed it was in Albert's house, and he was like, that's what happened. Good enough for me. I'm out of here. Otherwise, I mean, what else? What else? What else? So now, guys, we're getting to the end of this. I know it's been a really long live, but I wanted to cover this testimony because he was amazing, amazing. Michael, he's not aware that he is retarded. What exactly? I see what you did there. So that YouTube may keep your comments. That's why when I did the video, I was like, she was a cut. No saying these words here. Margot saying, haha, not Jennifer McCabe. Yes, I because I did 2 videos on Jennifer McCabe, I was like, I'm not gonna do a whole McCabe's, but I may be working on a McCabe video compilation. I also have to finish some of the summaries that from the most recent days that we had, and I'm gonna do all the clips, and hopefully you guys can check it out. But if you guys want, this is gonna be, how long is this video? It's gonna be a little bit more of the final cross when actually, you know, Jackson roasts him. So if you guys are still awake with me, let's watch this final compilation together. Hopefully, stay with me. Stay with me. This one.
And knew of, but didn't have relationships with, 3 Alberts, Julie, Chris, and Colin. Not quite true, is it?
McCrave.
Objection.
Sustained.
There's a 4th Albert out there, isn't there? Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Is he still here? Yes, he's still there, Proctor.
But you didn't tell us about that one,
I love the
Objection.
cat.
I'll allow it.
correct?
I'll allow it.
I don't consider that a relationship. It's
Well, let's look at that. Trooper Proctor, I'm not asking you to look for anything in the binder at this point. I'm asking for your memory.
I don't recall that.
I don't have a memory.
You don't recall the date, or you don't recall,
July 19th, 2022.
you don't recall the drinking?
Is it in this
The
paper?
date
The
itself,
drinking?
sir. I can't speak to any level of
Okay.
intoxication, but I don't recall any of us, either of us being
Drinking.
intoxicated.
Got it. Where's the log of those items being booked into evidence?
There was a chain of custody from when they entered the DA's office, and then when Trooper DeChico created a label for them, but also put them in the secure facility.
Can you show me where that is?
I'm not the evidence office. I don't have that.
I see. So you didn't bring a log with you of any sort concerning the chain of custody of these items, correct?
No.
Where's that physical log, sir?
What?
I'm not an evidence officer, so I don't know how that. Yeah, so I don't know how that's generated.
The fact of the matter is, the evidence log attendant to this case regarding those clothing items starts on March 14th when they were taken to the crime lab, correct?
That's when the clothing was transported to the lab.
And that's the only log we have of what happened to those clothes between January 29th and today.
Objection.
Overruled. Do you know that?
I don't. I'm not off the top of my head, ma'am. They were typos, sir.
Fact of the matter is, you delivered that car to Canton PD to the Sallyport garage before a single piece of taillight material was ever
I don't think
found
he's scared,
in
Cali
this
Cow. I
case.
think he's
Trooper
just
Proctor. Is that correct?
used
Correct.
to
It
getting
arrives
away
at
with things.
5:31. It's a supervisor's decision. I don't know who it came from.
Was it Lieutenant Tully?
Again, I don't know who it came from.
So you were just following orders.
Yes.
Were you answering a question about video inside the garage?
No, I was answering the question about what video I observed, and it was exterior video that I observed.
Although the answer to the question was cameras in the garage or Sallyport. That
If
was
I-
the question.
If I was aware of any.
And your answer was yes. And then the next question is, have you reviewed the footage? And your answer was, I saw one very grainy video. And then another, Sergeant Buchanan and I arriving in the main entrance around 5:30 following the vehicle, right? That
And
was
those-
your testimony.
Yeah, those two videos I'm referring to are the exterior of the building.
Question, when did you watch the video from the Sallyport? Answer, I haven't reviewed it, sir, in quite some time, so I can't recall what's on there.
It's from the driveway camera.
But you withheld that video out of 360 odd videos that you turned over. You withheld that one and never mentioned it until February of 2024, correct?
Objection.
Is that true?
I'm not aware of that, withholding that.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, the timestamp on the bottom of it was backwards.
That video?
Your face is backwards.
Just the other day.
Did you delete a video of Miss Reed arriving to One Meadows at approximately 12:41 a.m. on January 29th, 2022?
Absolutely not.
You will agree, Trooper
Sassy
Proctor,
pants, yeah.
that the video of Miss
I don't think
Reed
he'll get scared until
returning
he's
home from
indicted.
34 Fairview at approximately
If that ever
12:41
happens.
a.m. is not there.
Correct.
Yep. Yep.
As the case officer, you're aware that Trooper DeChico also
Kukowski.
reviewed
Sorry.
some or all of those videos, correct?
Yes.
And he did that at your request.
Correct.
The juror's
He
like,
took
don't look
notes
at us.
of his
D-bag.
review of those videos, correct?
Yes.
And then he provided those notes to you so that you could then memorialize those notes and your notes in a broader report that you then drafted in November of
Danielle.
2022, correct?
From memory serves me, the report I wrote regarding the Ring camera was based off my observations of the videos that I had watched.
But you certainly did have, as you just indicated, you did accumulate his notes and review his notes as well as your own notes, correct?
Best of my recollection, I wrote that report off of my notes.
Did you actually, at any point before writing your report, did you note or did you review his notes?
I can't recall.
You asked him, he reviewed the videos at your directions, correct? At
Yes.
your direction, correct?
Yes.
And obviously, he would have wanted to provide you whatever insights he had into his review of those videos. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Correct.
So when you reviewed his notes, did you see that they were on some sticky pads? You remember that?
That sounds about right.
Look at his face. Oh, it's just so aggravating. His face is aggravating to me. Just,
Do you recall
makes me so mad.
exactly, as you sit here, exactly what was on one or more of those sticky pads that you reviewed?
Christina,
from
you want to know about
Trooper
that?
Chico.
Lord.
I don't know.
Is
When
he
you
in
refresh your
trouble,
recollection,
guys?
you would take a
Is
look
he?
at a copy
Oh,
of
he's
this.
being investigated by the
Yes.
FBI, right? I think.
Trooper
Maybe?
Proctor, would you agree that from the very beginning of your investigation, you treated Karen Reed very differently than you treated the Alberts and the McCabe's in this case?
Absolutely not.
I'll allow it.
Say
Was
it.
she treated
Say
differently?
it.
Absolutely not. Like I said before, we followed the facts and the evidence.
I'm
the
gonna
open
have
mind.
to like
Did you consider her to
stop your
be,
comments here.
for want of a better phrase, an outsider?
No, not at all.
Not somebody from Canton,
No, not at all.
not family, not friends with the Alberts?
Absolutely not.
Thank you so
Who's
much,
she?
S. Bob.
The defendant.
Miss Reed,
Oh, I love
Correct.
it.
you literally said that you hope that Karen Reed, the subject of your investigation, the woman sitting to my left, about 7 feet from me, that she would just die, correct?
Wow, that was crazy.
The figure of speech.
You
Figure of
wanted her to-
speech.
The figure of speech is you
No.
wanted her to kill herself,
No,
right?
no, it's not.
Trooper Proctor,
I'm sorry.
Karen-
I'm sorry. Who has ever heard of anybody using these terms as a figure of speech? A figure of speech? No.
Reed, in your investigation, had quickly become a very serious problem for you. Had-
No, absolutely not.
In your words,
Absolutely
quote,
not.
all the powers that be want answers ASAP. That's what you texted on January 29th, right?
Yes.
That put a lot of pressure on you, didn't it, Trooper Proctor?
There's a lot of pressure in every case, sir. Yes.
Kevin Albert, loosely,
Yes.
Liar.
loose enough to leave his badge and his gun in your cruiser when after a night of drinking, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
Blimey
You
lolly.
agreed in your group chat that you needed to, quote, make this cut and dry because another cop was involved. Those are your words, right?
Objection.
Where is this?
It was
This was
there,
referred
Judge. You don't
to in
have to
earlier
interrupt the
text messages,
defense.
group chats.
They
So
talked
is
about
is
it.
that right? Did you say that, sir?
Don't rephrase the question.
I did text that. I don't know if it's in the exact context. But yes, those were my words.
Group chat.
Yes, that was in the group chat.
Don't look at the jury. Oh, he didn't.
Your friends wrote this whole thing, in their words, stinks, correct?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yes, I interpret
What's
that
up
as a
with
joke.
that?
You believed, Trooper Proctor, that your life would be much easier if Karen Reed was just dead, didn't you?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Absolutely,
no.
yes.
Like I had said, it was a figure of speech.
Don't look at the jury.
My emotions got the best of me based on, the fact that Miss Reed hit Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle and left him to die on the
Out
side
of
of the
breath.
road. So my emotions got the best of me
How do you
with
know
that
that?
figure of speech.
Well, let's talk about your figures of speech. During the course of your
Oh God,
investigation,
I think I cut that
your
out.
figures of
Hopefully.
speech
Uh-oh.
include the following.
Oh my God, cut that out.
Would you
Good.
agree, Trooper Proctor, that you have dehumanized Karen Reed during the course of
Take
your
a deep
investigation
breath.
with comments and words like this?
Objection.
I'll give you this one, Mr. Jackson.
Why this one?
Would you
Give
agree with
him
that?
all of them.
I would say based off that language,
What? You don't have words? No? No words?
yes,
And you
Yes.
admitted in your own words that the cop homeowner wasn't going to, quote, catch any shit, right?
correct.
Because you were out to quote, make this cut and dry. Isn't that right?
The homeowner wasn't going to catch any shit because Mr. Elbert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death.
Because you were going to make sure that the case was cut and dry. Those were your words, right?
Right.
On January 29th at 2:22 a.m., there was a call between him and Brian Albert that morning.
I
was not aware of
that.
Might have been important to your investigation, don't you think?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Depends what that. I don't
No
know what the call was
Oh,
about.
sorry, finish
Utter.
that.
I don't know what the call was about. I don't know if they actually connected and communicated
You
what
don't
the
know there
length
was
of the
a
call
call.
was. So
You don't know there
Right.
was a call.
And you never asked, did you?
I was unaware that call took place.
And you were unaware that that call took place
Because you never
because you didn't
asked.
get his phone. to
Right?
Proctor.
Proctor.
Right?
Typically, we don't get witnesses' phones, sir.
You were unaware.
Why
of
were they a
that
witness
call
and not a
at
suspect?
That time because you didn't see his phone, correct?
Objection.
Mhm.
All right, yes.
Correct.
Right.
I'm gonna pause here. Okay, so I'm gonna read some of your amazing comments here and apologize a little bit because I was doing all these videos and then apparently what I did was I took some of the links and I repeated them. So I apologize for that because when I went to do the, to put the graphics in and the words and everything, I may have repeated them, but we're almost done. And I just want to read some of your comments here. Thank you so much, everybody. We got PMCP. Wait, how does this work? I think I did this one already. So I have to go all the way to I'm going to start with this one. Ask Bob, super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so happy I'm getting my first super chats. These clips are amazing, so clever, so funny, so right on the money. You have an amazing talent, Bianca. Thank you so much. I am telling all my friends to subscribe. Thank you so much because I really want to make this happen and I enjoy making these and I love trials. So hopefully we can, make a community happen because it's time consuming, but it is fun. And I really enjoy these, especially the time that I am spending here with you guys and you guys are participating because I'm like, oh, somebody likes the video. Somebody likes the graphics. That's awesome feedback to know. Jessica Ashley, I can't imagine I'm the only Massachusetts woman that feels unsafe thinking we may be pulled over by this vile state police officer. That's very scary. It's a scary thought because of the way they talk about women, they treat women. I mean, they're showing, right? Because they have these group texts where they all kind of approve of each other's behavior. And it is scary. We have Ask Bob. Ask Bob. Absolutely not. Figure of speech over and over. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Oreo cookie figure of speech is a word or phrase that departs from straightforward literal language to achieve a special effect or meaning. It is often used to make writing more interesting, vivid, or expressive. Oh, I like that. Very interesting. Ask Bob. I wish you could be doing the cross-examination. I would be like, sir, have you been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder? Because you have nothing. Are you a robot, sir? Wait, let me see. Are you a robot? Thank you so much, Danielle Rodriguez, for your super. I don't know if you meant to put a comment, but if you want to say something, please. Oh, it's right there. You're so amazing. Thank you so much. Michael Aaron, my friend Michael Aaron, that I couldn't pronounce his name the first time. If a body of a cop is found on any of our laws, oh my God, my whole family would be investigated over there in Brazil. At 6:30 in the morning after a night of drinking, our houses would be searched ransacked by lunchtime. Oh yeah, we would be swatted. Like, have you ever heard the SWAT just like going into people's houses in the middle of the night? Yeah. Yes. Yes. H-Bag say, yup. Sassy Pants, absolutely. Imagine she has lots to worry about for her own culpability when her husband is indicted. I think you guys might be talking about maybe Proctor's wife. Maybe. Lisa Lee remind me of Jasmine from Aladdin. Oh, I love Jasmine. That's back when Disney had great movies. What? Sassy, she sure does. Okay, so we're almost done. And I do think that the second part of the video is not repeated. So hopefully it's new.
How many murder cases in the history of your career
No, make it big.
have you worked on in which the medical examiner
Oh God, this is
made
repeated
the
again.
determination that the manner of death could not be determined?
Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
Let me see something. Let me see if I can fast forward to the final part.
Wouldn't feel comfortable putting a number on it. It's not a lot. I couldn't ballpark it for you, but I know it's not a lot.
Well, Trooper Proctor, you were asked this exact question in February of 2024 at another proceeding.
Mm-hmm.
And you indicated that you had never seen it in your entire career, correct?
I'm trying to run it.
Well, you were asked the question, so first, what do you mean by, of course it's undetermined? And your answer was, I said it at the time, it was kind of like, not like figuratively, of course, of course, like I had never really seen that before in a homicide, end quote. Correct?
Yes.
As the case agent, as the case officer, do you believe it might be important to find out whether or not that phone appeared to have been manipulated or altered in some way before it was turned over? Wouldn't that be something that you would normally do?
That'd be important.
But you didn't do it with Jim McCabe's phone.
I didn't personally handle that. No.
Did you ever seize Nicole Albert's phone?
No.
Did you ever seize Brian Albert's phone?
No.
Colin Albert's?
No.
Chris Albert's?
No.
Julie Albert's?
No.
Why would Proctor's wife lawyer up?
Were you concerned that if you seized any or all of their phones, especially Colin, yet when you wanted to coordinate witnesses for interviews in this case?
Why would she
Who'd
be
you turn to?
investigated, guys?
I texted Kevin Albert to see if he could secure a conference room for us to conduct interviews.
I'm going to
At the
fast
station.
forward. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Let me see if I can get to the last part.
Your friends wrote this whole thing, in their words, stinks.
Right, we saw this.
In the course of your investigation, your figures of speech include the following.
Okay. Oh, no.
She's a bitch.
No!
Would you agree, Trooper Proctor, that you
Okay,
have
that part we didn't see.
dehumanized Karen Reed during the course of your investigation with comments and words like this?
Objection.
I'll give you this one, Mr. Jackson.
you agree with
Long
that?
pause.
I'd say based off that language,
Yes. Continue, please.
yes.
And you admitted, in your own
Okay.
words, that the cop homeowner wasn't going to, quote, catch any shit.
Right. The
Right?
meeting with
Correct.
Jennifer McCabe. That's okay.
Because you were out
guys.
to quote, make this cut and dry. Isn't that right?
The homeowner wasn't going to catch any shit because Mr. Albert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death.
Because you were going to make sure that the case was cut and dry. Those were your words, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
Why?
And Trooper Proctor,
Why?
it would be
I don't
far
know. Is that
easier,
a speculation?
far easier for you to pin it on the girl just kills herself, right?
He's so
Objection.
mad. He's so mad. I'm done.
Shame on you, sir.
Trooper Proctor.
Boom.
Right
Wait,
there.
let's take a moment to enjoy the shame on you, sir. Let's take a moment to enjoy that. And I was watching Emily Baker when that happened, and the judge, of course, this guy, he's not supposed to make any comments. And that Alan Jackson just missed saying, "My emotions got the best of me. I apologize, Your Honor." But it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Shame on you, sir. Yes, because usually I'm very compassionate and I would hate to see anyone in the position this guy was in. I felt like he was humiliated like nobody has ever been humiliated that I know of in public, over and over. But like I said in the beginning, as I continue to watch his reactions, his lack of empathy, his lack of remorse, I came very close to a conclusion. I don't know if it's a conclusion, and I'm not qualified to make any conclusions, but that he doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have the ability to have empathy, to have remorse. And that's why he did testify to everything. He kept looking at the jury as he lied. He has no problem in lying, in doing that. I saw that Karina was still awake. Oh my goodness, guys. This is a very late, very, very late live for Karina. We have to figure out a better time. But let me see here. Yeah, I was asking you guys in the chat, why would the proctor's wife have to lawyer up? So one reason, she was secretly meeting up with Jen McCabe to commiserate. Yes. Jennifer McCabe. Margot Proctor's wife is allegedly to have called supporter of Kara's workplaces to get them fired, among whatever else. I suppose. No way. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Karina, John says that Proctor's wife was calling people's places to. That's insane. Wow. So she's in the same level. She's not a victim. She's in the same level. H-bag cooked way better word. Christine, pretty sure she got one of them fired. Oh, that's so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, thank God for the internet and the informational. I don't have words anymore. My brain's tired. But the current world we live in, that sometimes is bad, sometimes is good. To have information, have transparency, and be like, these people are doing this. Okay, we have to be careful with that, especially online. We really have to be careful with that, making accusations without knowing the facts and destroying people's lives. This is why sometimes when I do the body language videos, I try to be kind, cautious on saying anything for sure, especially when I did for Colin Albert, because of his age and everything. But with this guy, I have no problem, because he sits there, he lies to our faces. So he deserves every bit of rage that he's getting, at least from us, from me. Ask Bob, Sassy, you and me should do a temporary YouTube channel just to expose Berkowitz and referee. Yes, they're getting off and skating free makes my blood. But yes, guys, you guys should definitely do that. Let me know. I'll watch. CH Bags like, I'd watch that, Bob. Exactly. We want to know we want to know the dirt. We want to know the gossip. Sassy Pants. Yes, Liz's online behavior using her job to get people's personal information, bonding with CPL. Who's that? CPL boxes of wine at the Proctor home with Gemma Cave. These people, man. Seriously, seriously, seriously. So almost done. But now we're gonna watch a little bit of Slimy Lolly. And it's kind of annoying because it's a little bit of him testifying. But I wanted to play this because this is why I told you guys I named him Slimy Lolly. And we gotta get a better nickname for him because that doesn't really rhyme. But because not only he testifies, right? He's on the witness. He's like, this is what happened. And even when Proctor responds, he completes even more. He adds more to it. Not only does he testify, but he starts with going after the attorney, Yannetti, like asking for Proctor to say more things about Yannetti. And I think that's so low and so it lacks class. And it's so unprofessional because you're going with somebody. Okay, I know you guys are working for different, sides of the case, but you're still attorneys, members of the bar, officers of the courts. Have some class. you don't have a case, don't go after the attorney, you know? But anyways, that's what Lolly does because that's Lolly.
As far as
He comes in hot.
you were asked about text
that-
messages
if
that
that
occurred in
could ever
August
be
of
true.
2022, in which you indicated that you did not like Mr. Gannett, correct?
Correct.
And so at the time of that text message, it was sent in August of 2022. Why was that?
In August of 2022. Why was that?
Yeah, why was
The
that?
reasons I laid out, the false accusations of being conflicted and corrupt spouted in an open court, which there's zero evidence of. Like I said, I stand by the integrity of this investigation, as well as every trooper and supervisor in my office.
Were there also motions
tongue
filed
jut.
by Mr. Yannetti or by counsel containing photographs of yourself and some children?
Yes.
And what, if anything, were the allegations in regard to the children that were depicted in those photographs?
So the photograph was taken in my parents' backyard.
He's annoyed.
Objections overruled.
My parents' backyard at a pool party. There's some little kids in the photo. Defense counsel kept insinuating that those were the McCabe's children, when in fact they were my family, my cousins.
All right.
Have you at any point in time ever
Was that the
met any
defense or
children
was
of
that
the
like
McCabe's?
people online?
No, sir.
In the course of this investigation, as it was sort of alleged on cross-examination, did you essentially pick a suspect and then try to have the evidence fit that?
Objection. The form, leading.
In that form, it's stricken. Not allowed
He's so
to
upset to have to not
What did you do?
allow Lolly to testify.
I reached out to Ring several different times. They informed me if a video is deleted, there's no digital footprint of that. It's essentially kind of gone forever.
And with respect to that time frame, what, if any, other additional steps did you take to try to retrieve that video? Was there a second search warrant, sir?
Yes.
See?
You were
Stop
looking for additional
testifying.
information from that same ring video, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Stop
What, if anything, were you looking
testifying,
for in that second
slime
search?
ball.
There's additional video.
You were asked some questions about notes from Trooper DeChico, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
As
what's
far
up
as
with
that 0041 note, do you know what that means?
That just tells me it's a time.
And do you know specifically whether or not that is something that Trooper DeChico saw or something that Trooper DeChico was looking for?
That's
Stop
something Trooper Chico could answer
testifying.
for.
Yay, Jennifer, it worked. Thank you
So
so
you were
much.
asked some
I'm so
questions
glad you're here.
about Sallyport video at Canton Police Station, correct?
Yes.
And you
I
arrived
love
at
the lawyer, you know.
Sallyport garage of the Canton Police Station sometime around or shortly after 5:30 p.m., correct?
Yes.
Now, that 5:30 p.m. time, is that before or after 5:07 a.m.?
After.
And 5:07 a.m. is when the Exhibit 6, video number, I believe, 153, with the defendant backing out of the garage where you testified on Monday, you observed some damage to the taillight, correct?
Correct.
Lollygag. Huh. Interesting.
You're aware of
nickname.
some other ring video from Mr. O'Keefe's house showing the defendant, Ms.
Lollipop
Roberts,
is
and Mr.
good.
McCabe, arriving at his house, in which you can see damage to the right passenger taillight, correct?
Correct.
Are you aware of a cruiser camera video from the Canton Police Station, Police Department, specifically Lieutenant Ray, going to One Meadows Ave at 8:22 in the morning on the 29th?
Look at him
in
testify,
which you
guys.
can also observe damage to the taillight.
What the hell is happening?
Sustained is
What's
twofold.
happening? Admonish him,
As far
Judge.
as 8:22 in the
Admonish
morning,
him.
what, if any, video from One Meadows Avenue are you aware of depicting?
Bro,
defendant's
what
taillight?
if any video from this place?
Canton Police Department went to conduct a
I'm done
well-being
with
check,
you,
and
Lollipop.
on the dash cruiser camera, you can see the back of Miss Reed's vehicle and the right taillight to be broken and missing pieces.
And as far as your
Stop
time at the
testifying.
home indictment, the vehicle, the defendant's vehicle was towed from that location on that day, correct?
Correct.
And what, if any, video are you aware of from that driveway?
What if any
which
video from
depicts,
that
the
driveway?
right rear passenger side
Leading,
taillight,
leading, leading.
the defendant's vehicle.
Yeah, as the vehicle's being put on the tow truck, you can make out that there's some pieces missing.
And why didn't you take a picture for us, for the class? Why didn't you take a picture right there when you were at Karen's house to grab her stuff, her phone and her SUV without any warrants? Why didn't you take a picture of the tail light? Why do we have to be like this, trying to look what happened in the middle of the snow?
Later
That
part of
was-
the evening of January
Yes.
29th, 2022. What is it that you did know in relation to your investigation with regard to Ms. Reed, the defendant, and/or anyone else?
Take a deep breath and get the script out.
So
you can do it, Proctor.
we
It's
knew
almost
the last
end.
person
Mhm.
seen with Mr. O'Keefe
Okay.
alive was Miss Reed.
All right.
We knew they were traveling to Fairview Road.
Yes.
Witnesses stated they saw a SUV out front of the house.
Yeah,
It went
different
from one
times, by
side
the
to
way.
the other.
And you
Miss McCabe was
didn't.
texting John.
You didn't interview the witnesses that were there when the SUV was there, like Ryan Nagel, his friend Dentano. You didn't interview them until like a year later, maybe. I don't know exactly how long after, but who are you talking about? Who are you talking about here?
John parked behind me, things of that nature.
You didn't talk to them.
John never went into the house. And then the
Yeah,
following morning,
exactly. We got that in a text, very suspicious text, where they all like talking about, oh, the cops are here. Oh, tell them the guy never went into the house. Exactly. Sir, your investigation is
Miss
shot.
Reed, Miss Roberts, and Miss McCabe located Mr. O'Keefe in the front lawn.
Oh, my cave.
I-
My crabes.
Observed those injuries at the hospital.
Get it out.
One sneaker. Later on in the day, the CERT team, along with Detective Lieutenant Tully, found broken taillight pieces that matched Miss Reed's taillight, as well as the missing sneaker that matched Mr. O'Keefe's vehicle. Some inconsistent
The sneaker
statements
that matched his
that Miss
vehicle?
Reed had provided to Sergeant Buchanan and I.
Sergeant Buchanan and I. Sergeant Buchanan and I. Do you guys like the Sergeant Buchanan and I that I made?
So at the time that you made those comments, disparaging comments in regard to Ms. Reed in the context of those communications with your friends, as inexcusable, as unprofessional as those comments are, the information that you had was that Ms. Reed had struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Stop
Yeah,
testifying, you
watch
piece
the
of
film, Mr.
lolly
Stream.
slime ball.
The time that you made those inexcusable and unprofessional comments, what did you believe the defendant had done to Mr. O'Keefe?
I believe, based on all the physical evidence and facts, Mr. O'Keefe got out of that vehicle holding that cocktail glass he walked out of the waterfall bar with. Miss Reed pulled ahead and then backed into him, struck him with her vehicle, and then left.
And then came back 5.5 hours later, correct?
Correct.
Shame on you, sir. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you, sir.
And that's that, guys. That is all. We've only been here for 2.5 hours. That's all. But I want to say hi to Jennifer Hooper, who says she saw my message on the lawyer, because I did put a super chat there. That makes me so happy because I watch him every night. And I'm like, I think some people might like the stuff that we do here too. So I'm so glad to have you here, Jennifer. Welcome. And am I the host? Is that what you're talking about? Who knows how to send a message to the host? Got some screenshots on this live. I don't know if I'm the host, but if I am the host, send me a message, I guess. I'll send you a message in the comment and then we can talk about I don't understand. What else? What else do we have? I just want to say bye to everybody. You guys are talking among each other here. And Lisa. Okay, let's see this comment from Lisa Lee. Jen walked out of the house backwards with her head twisted because by the story they are saying happened. John was already dead on the floor when Jen's crew left the house. It was weird that the girls were on the phone and the brother was like, "Oh, we'll pick you up." So Julie said to Sarah, "Oh, my brother's coming to pick us up." And then Jen was like, No. I'll take you guys home. Maybe it was normal. Maybe it wasn't. And yes, you are the host. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Christine is like, you're the host. Okay. So Jennifer, just put a comment after the video, like a regular comment on YouTube, and I'll send you my email or something if that's what you want for the screenshots you're talking about. And guys, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe, share, like, do all the YouTube things like Emily likes to say. And check out my videos. I have body language of Brian Higgins, Jennifer McCabe, Colin Albert. I have summaries, all that I made with a lot of love, with all the clips and all the sense of humor I try to insert in this, because if not laughing, what are we gonna do, right? Shame on you, Trooper Proctor. Shame on you. And thank you guys. I had a lot of fun too. Thank you so much. It sucks to leave, but I have to talk to my dog and eat. So I'll see you guys next time. I will post on the live. Thank you so much. Christine, have a great night. Everyone, thanks. Thank you for all your hard work, Bianca. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening, everybody.